Morning everybody. So from the last video, have a little bit of a story. You know how I said I wasn't sure whether I was going to make it back from Brownsville to the house, which is like 5 or 10 minutes. So obviously the valve stem was hitting the outer tie rod, and I tried to drive as slowly as I could back towards the house, and I got probably about halfway, and I guess I never realized, but the right front tire lost pressure and then it debeaded. So I pulled over on the side of the road and I was like, shit, alright, let me call Ryan. So called Ryan and he was like, do you want me to bring you one of your stock wheels? And I was like, stock wheels aren't going to fit now because of the RCAs making it bigger and blah blah. So I knew that wasn't really an option, but I was like, okay, yeah, just bring the spare anyway, let's see if it fits. Sure enough, doesn't fit. And then we take a look at the valve stem on the tire that debeaded, and I guess the little, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the little stem, the little like metal stick piece that's inside of the valve stem came out, and obviously the tire lost pressure and it debeaded. I'm sure that it's probably because it was hitting. So that sucked, but we're like, okay, let's just go home, pull one out of one of the other tires, put it in there, take it to a gas station, air it up, try and drive the car home. Got it home and it was like 10 or 11 p.m. and I had to work the next day, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna work on this thing right now. So had my girlfriend drive me to work the next day, and then when I got home, I was like, all right, let's sort this shit out. So I was like, all I need to do is take the RCAs off probably and just run the wheels again and we should be okay. So did that. It actually only took me like 10 minutes to remove the RCAs on both sides, which is actually kind of nice. Fixed that pretty easy, and then I realized when I was about to drop my car down that I broke the compression nut holding my airline into the bag on the left side. Yeah, it went a couple of days without having my car, and it was actually kind of lame, and I was bummed, but it's back now and we're all good. Although last night I went out and drove around. I was cruising with a bunch of local guys, and then driving home a check engine light popped up. So I don't really know what that is, and I also have this like shake in my wheels, which I think when I debeaded, maybe I lost one of the wheel weights on the right side. It's kind of just driving like shit right now above 60, which sucks, but car's aligned, everything drives straight, and it's perfect, so I'm happy with that. Just need to get a code reader and figure out what this check engine light is. It's probably just like an O2 sensor or something. Alright, so story time over. We can now get on with the video. This morning, I am headed to Coffee and Eggs. It's Cars and Coffee, but it's some breakfast place. I can't remember what it's called, but it has eggs in the name, so it's called Coffee and Eggs. But anyway, heading over there. I actually haven't been to like any local events really since I've lived in Bowling Green, so I'm just now starting to meet some of the local guys and get around. But yeah, we're gonna swing through there, see what it's like, maybe get some breakfast, although I do have a dope ass snack that I'm gonna talk about right now. Check this shit out, right? Found this in a gas station last night. This is a new M&M's hazelnut spread. It's not a hazelnut, there's no nut in there, but it's like hazelnut spread. So it's basically like a Nutella M&M. I am stoked to try these. Also, after we get done with Cars and Coffee, I think I'm gonna go off and find somewhere to shoot my car, because it's actually been almost 2 weeks since I've shot my car, and that sucks because I really enjoy that, and I think that is today's subject for this video. I'm going to talk about the importance of shooting your own car and how it helps you develop as a photographer and as a car enthusiast, I guess. Alright, so I just made it over to Cars and Coffee, and it is not a very big turnout. I didn't expect much of Bowling Green. I got a lot of strange looks in my car. I was expecting it to be a lot of younger kids and maybe some stancier cars, but no. Well, I suppose that's not really Cars and Coffee's demographic. Alright, so there's a couple surprising little gems here. Got a V-Wagon with Corvette wheels on it, which actually looks amazing. It's an auto, that's lame. Weapon X front lip, I think so. Looks good, man. Surprised to see a Roush here. I actually don't think I ever see Roushes anywhere other than Michigan, but that's cool. Alright, where did this thing come from? Also another thing I was not expecting to see. Well, that was about it for cool shit here. That was pretty cool to see that. I honestly didn't expect to just come across a wide body GTR in Bowling Green, Kentucky. Obviously, had to park next to the GTR. That's what the fuck I'm talking about. What do you guys think? Should I test fit these wheels on my car? I think I should. Alright, so Cars and Coffee actually turned out a little bit better than I was expecting it to be. Some more cars showed up, it was pretty decent. But me and a couple of the local dudes are gonna go get Kyoto. It's a Japanese place, and actually the guy that owns that Rocket Bunny GTR owns the restaurant, so like shit, we're kind of in the mood for some Japanese. We're gonna swing by there. Alright, that Japanese was bomb as fuck. And then now we are gonna head to a little spot that Michael knows of to go shoot pictures, and I'm gonna talk about the importance of shooting your own car. Alright, had to put some sunglasses on because even though it's hazy out, I'm squinting really hard, and I didn't want to do that through this clip. But anyway, we're going to talk about why it's important to shoot your own car. Now, not only as a photographer, but just as a car enthusiast, why I think it's important to take pictures of your car. So from my perspective, I have been photographing cars for a good few years, and I'm always shooting other people's cars, and it's usually like the first time I'm seeing a car or the first time I'm meeting somebody that I'm shooting with them, and so I have to adapt pretty quickly and figure out what will work with their car. And it doesn't always work out that way, like we're figuring out a location and colors and stuff that match up, and an editing style that matches up with that specific car. But once you have your own car that you know better than anybody, it then becomes super easy to just find locations and, you know, figure out things that work for your car. And I don't think that there is anything more rewarding, at least to me, than the satisfaction of driving and just seeing a really cool spot or something that looks like it has potential that you know will work with your car, and just pulling in there, shooting a bunch of pictures, getting home, editing them, and they come out like super fucking sick. Like that to me is one of the best feelings ever. Now, I know my car is not perfect by any means, but at this point in time it is something that I'm happy with, and I love to take pictures of it. Now, the only issue with taking pictures of your own car is if you don't change the car up too much, you often find yourself taking the same angles all the time because you know what angles look good for your car and complement it well. And it gets a little bit repetitive. So it does help if you are changing your car all the time and you have new things and new angles to try out and stuff. But yeah, for me, shooting my own car is one of the best feelings ever because I've never had that opportunity. In all of the years that I've been, I want to say a car enthusiast, I mean, I've been a car enthusiast my whole life. I've been obsessed with cars since I was a very young kid. But I have, with every culture that I've been involved with, before I was doing car stuff, I was involved with action sports, you know, BMX, scooters and stuff like that. I always wanted to be the pro athlete. I always wanted to be the guy who could do the most badass shit and, you know, was known for that. But I was never able to do that. I wasn't built for it. I didn't, you know, I didn't perform the same way that some people did, and I didn't have a natural talent for that, but I do have a natural talent for photography and videography. So I always lived vicariously through the things that I wanted through my camera, and I've always done the same thing with cars. I have never been able to afford to buy my own car that I could build and buy parts for it and work on it. I've never had a space that I could work on it. And it finally feels great to have my own car that I can do whatever the fuck I want with, take it wherever I want, shoot whenever I want. That is like a real good feeling of achievement to me, because it's what I've always wanted. I've lived vicariously through shooting other people's cars that are really awesome because I know how to do stuff with a camera, and never had the opportunity to shoot my own car. And now I do, and it just feels great. And I think that, you know, from the perspective of somebody who isn't a photographer or doesn't do video or photo stuff, you can also find pretty good happiness in photographing your car and sharing it. And this is something that I've been really keen to promote surrounding my brand, LEP Automotive. From, you know, this year forward, I really want to focus on pushing people to not only enjoy their cars, you know, driving them, taking them out, showing them off, whatever, but also sharing them. You know, in this day and age that we live in, it is so easy to just upload pictures and thousands, if not millions, of people to see those pictures, and we should take full advantage of that. If you've worked really hard to build your car a certain way, or if you've worked really hard to buy your car, you know, save up the money to buy parts, you put in so much time to build it the way that you want it, you should be sharing that. And it's not to brag and be like, hey, I'm better than you because I have this. It is more so to just show off what it is that you have worked for. I think it's really awesome that it's just so accessible for us to have a platform to share our creations with so many people so easily. So if you are out there and you own a car, go out, drive it, enjoy it, and if you see somewhere that looks like a spot that you would like to take pictures at, or that you could imagine pictures at, stop and take some pictures. You don't need to have an incredible camera. You don't need to be talented with a camera. Just pull your phone out and take some pictures of it and post that shit to Instagram. Like, that is cool. We all love scrolling through Instagram, seeing cool cars. If you have a cool car, or even if your car isn't that cool, there is somebody out there that thinks that your car is cool. And more and more people sharing something that they have worked hard for or worked hard on inspires others to, you know, push to want to do the same thing. And I think that by seeing other stuff on social media and other cars and things and creations and things that inspire me, you know, certain builds that are different, blah, 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 they inspire me, and I'm like, oh shit, that made me think of doing this, and that makes me want to work towards being able to do that. And that's how this car has been and how it will be. You know, right now it is not the way that I want it to be, and I do have big plans for it, and it's going to take a lot to get there over time. Now, I don't want anybody to get it twisted and take this as, hey, you should build your car for other people to see and for the clout, essentially. I'm not saying that at all. I'm actually the complete opposite of that. I don't care for people building cars for internet attention. I get it if you want to build a car that's so outrageous that it, you know, gets people's attention or it causes controversy. That is cool to an extent, but people just doing it because they need some sort of recognition, maybe their parents didn't give them enough attention growing up, I don't know. I'm not talking about that. Please build your cars for you. Do everything that you do for yourself, because that's the most important thing. What makes you happy will be always the most important thing. Don't ever do, not just cars, don't ever do anything that is to please other people. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying that at all, but I am saying that if you build something that you love and that makes you happy, please share it with other people, because I guarantee it will make somebody else happy. Even if it is a completely stock Chevy Malibu with some fucking stickers on it. Not my taste, but somebody out there wants the same thing, and I think them seeing you posting that and being happy about it will inspire them to do the same thing. And I'm not saying let's all go buy stock Chevy Malibus and put some stickers on it, but I am saying if you have something and you love it and you are passionate about it, share that shit with the fucking world, because somebody else out there is happy to see it. And that is pretty much it for today. I would like for you guys to post in the comments a couple of things. I want to know how you felt the first time that you had a car, or you put together a car that you were happy with, and you took your first pictures of it and got home and looked at those pictures. I want to know what your emotions were when you did that for the first time, because we've all been through it. We've all been at a point, or maybe you haven't got there yet, but at some point we all will go through a point where we are just happy to have something and look at pictures of it and like, wow, that is really cool. I want to know what that felt like the first time that you did that. And also, I'd like to hear some of your opinions on social media. How do you feel about people constantly posting content of their car on social media? Do you hate it? Why do you hate it? Do you love it? Is there things that you don't like or things that you do like? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's about it for today's video. But I just wanted to touch on this subject because this is something that is pretty close to me, and I am at a point where I'm going through that feeling of having something for the first time and being able to share it. And I'm just really ecstatic with that, and I want to know how other people feel about it, and I hope that other people can relate to me on that. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in whatever the next video is. Peace, guys.